Hi, I'm Zoe. My mommy's January Jones. Do your kids ever whine about looking at each other? He's looking at me. Hello, I'm January Jones, the author of Thou Shalt Not Whine, the 11th Commandment. And I'd like to thank my Muppet dog Zoe for such a relaxed introduction today. My book is based on a survey of the top 10 things that kids whine about. Today we will deal with how to stop kids whining about their siblings with the dreaded "he's looking at me" whine. I'm the expert and I'm here to help you put an end to the whining in your life. Together we'll deal with the complaints, the causes, and the cures for whining. In my book there are over 100 cures to help you handle whining at all ages and stages. Most parents know the drill, especially when it comes to their kids whining about their brothers or sisters looking at them. One of my most frequently used quotes in my book goes something like this: "A child can ask questions that a wise mother cannot answer." And I might add, nor would she want to. For some questions and whines, there are no easy answers. Kids usually start out whining with, "Tell him to stop it." And you insanely ask, "Stop what?" "He's looking at me." In my experience, I've found that it's usually an older child tormenting a younger one that causes this whine. This is a ritual that began with Cain and Abel when they squared off against one another in the Garden of Eden. It usually starts with the youngest child whining that they are being looked at. Next, the older child will deny that they are looking at anyone, least of all their despised younger brother or sister. And so it begins. In my opinion, this drill could be included in the Geneva Conventions of War as one of the most effective tortures ever. Now, how many of you have heard your kids say, "He's still doing it, he won't stop"? Now you may ask, how do you stop this whine? When this mysterious chronic situation arose during my kids' childhoods, I usually tried to explain to them that there was no law against looking at someone. It never worked, but it made sense to me, and I spent hours trying to convince them. As a last resort, I would make them all do the "put on your sunglasses" cure, whether inside or out, sunny or not. That way, no one could look at anyone or see anyone looking at them. It certainly made me laugh seeing them all sitting around the TV room watching cartoons with their shades on. I don't think this was a cruel or unusual punishment, although my kids to this day probably wouldn't agree with me, just because I had so much fun torturing them. Now that you know what we're dealing with, I hope you will listen to more webisodes with good advice that will make you laugh. It won't take much time, they're only 3 to 5 minutes, but it could help and it won't hurt. Be sure to watch our next webisode when I will be sharing with you my famous Norwegian risperumpen cure for whining. Remember, Thou Shalt Not Whine is available at Amazon.com, and when you subscribe to my show, you can immediately download a free PDF with the top 10 cures for whining. I want to thank you today for watching my webisode, and be sure to tell all your friends to tune in. And whatever you do, remember, stop whining, start smiling, and if that doesn't work, start eating chocolate, lots and lots of chocolate. It's usually a great cure since there's no way you can whine with chocolate in your mouth. Now Zoe and I will look forward to seeing you on our next webisode dealing with kids whining, and I'll be telling you what the Norwegians do with their whining kids. Ja, ja, ja.